I would like to just ask you that how we can connect science, spirituality, and sustainability so that people who think that spirituality is something else and science and medical science are completely different else. How would you like to connect sustainability, spirituality, technology together?
Science can be considered a sort of specialized knowledge.
Mhm.
Specialized knowledge which has focused on the material, on what is what can be perceived by the senses,
Mhm.
and experimentation of the type that generates data which can be looked at rationally to arrive at certain conclusions.
Mhm.
So it has focused on a certain narrow sphere, and within that sphere, it has given us a lot of facts
Mhm.
and knowledge which has been used as working knowledge
Mhm.
for making spectacular advances like, say, landing on the moon.
Mhm.
Now, all that has been possible with the help of this type of
Mhm.
knowledge. But all the same, any type of exploration which has a limited field of action
Mhm.
will remain limited. It cannot lead us to the total truth.
Yeah.
The total truth is that having known which nothing else needs to be known.
Mhm.
And that includes not only looking at the truth from the material point of view, using the physical senses, using rationality, and so on, but it should include the highest reaches of the individual, which include suprasensory experiences, experiences which cannot be had at the sensory level,
Mhm.
at which include working of the mind which goes beyond rationality, what Sri Aurobindo calls the supra-rational level.
Mhm.
So when we use those, then only we are able to arrive at something much larger, which may be called the total truth. Again, if may not be, because the total truth is infinite, and any such formulation of knowledge will remain finite.
Mhm.
So it has its limitations, but
Mhm.
all the same, at least it goes much beyond this limited knowledge, which we call science, useful though it has been, and it has helped us in many ways. But at the same time, its limitations were forgotten uh, because of the great rapid development of science
Mhm.
which took place after the European Renaissance.
Mhm.
So that 300 or 400 year period, starting with around the 16th century, uh, led to a sort of a euphoria
Mhm.
because of the scientific achievements.
Mhm.
And the result was that, particularly in Europe,
Mhm.
where there was a conflict between science and religion, religion was banished to one corner. Sunday church, well, that may be good, but the rest of the life can be organized around rationality. So that became the paradigm. But then the West started realizing the limitations of that approach. That approach was inadequate to wipe out the problems of human existence. And that is why people like Swami Vivekananda, when he went to Chicago and spoke at the Parliament of Religions, they were received so well
Mhm.
because that was the time when the West was ripe for something different.
Yeah.
They realized that rationality had given us all science and technology, but had not been able to wipe out the problems of human existence. And therefore, they were looking for something that goes beyond reason.
Mhm.
And that is what they found resided in ancient Indian wisdom. And so they were ready to receive this sort of wisdom. And that process has only accelerated since then.
Mhm.
And we find a great deal of receptivity for ancient Indian wisdom in the Western countries. And as Sri Aurobindo has said, in some of his works like The Human Cycle and The Ideal of Human Unity, that that was bound to happen. And even the failed experiments which the West went through, trying to test rationality as the solution to problems of human existence, those failed experiments would also serve a purpose because at least it will show the West what is it that does not work.
Mhm.
Once they realize what does not work, they look for something else. And since reason does not work, they'll start looking at something higher than reason. And that something higher than reason, which will work eventually, will be found in ancient Indian wisdom.
True.
So it seems to be a divine design at work,
Mhm.
which took Swami Vivekananda there when the Western society was just ready to receive it.
Mhm.
And then Sri Aurobindo didn't have to move out of Pondicherry even for a single day.
Mhm.
And yet, because of the receptivity that existed, his influence could spread all over the world.
Yes. True. Very beautiful.